I am cognizant that there's a big world out there, and sometimes it's nice to get some independent advice and a fresh opinion. And that's something I've really been able to get through the FinSIA program.
Welcome to the FinSIA podcast. Today I've got Jacob Butterick from Bendigo and Adelaide. He's going to talk to us about mentoring and the opportunities that it's brought to him. Jacob, welcome. Thanks for taking part in the podcast. Can you tell me what brought you to FinSIA and the mentoring program, and a little bit more about it?
Thanks, Lewis. Thanks for having me. So I've been a FinSIA member for probably 3 years now. Really coming off the back of the pandemic, I was looking for, I guess, something different to do around education. So I didn't want to go back and do a master's or a big sort of uni course, but I did want to do some further learning. And through a colleague of mine actually came through the Professional Banking Fundamentals program, which I ended up completing throughout 2022. Probably took me a little bit longer than it should have, but did get it all done in one go. And it was a great course to complete, as it's so relevant to the banking industry. So yeah, that's the start. And then really coming up to renewing my membership towards the back end of last year, I was looking at some of the options FinSIA offer and saw that there was the mentoring program. So did a few inquiries into that and then commenced that at the start of this year, being 2023, and have been completing that throughout the year, which I've absolutely loved. I've had a great mentor and someone who I've gotten to know. And yeah, it's been a really great experience so far.
And is that have you had any other experience of mentoring other people, or is this the first time?
Certainly not to this degree. I've been pretty lucky. When I was at uni, I did an internship at a bank, and sort of my I guess they're called a mentor for the time that you're there. I've kept in contact with him, but that's definitely been a different relationship to the one I've built through the FinSIA program.
Well, let's dig a little bit deeper then, if we can, and what would you say you got out of the program, and maybe some advice you'd give to others who are considering taking part in FinSIA mentoring?
Yeah, I got some really great guidance from my mentor. I'm pretty lucky to be at the organisation I'm at, and I really enjoy being there. But I am cognizant that there's a big world out there, and sometimes it's nice to get some independent advice and a fresh opinion. And that's something I've really been able to get through the FinSIA program. I guess in addition to that, it was really great to speak to someone who's in an ideal world where I want to be one day. So my particular mentor is a chief risk officer, and I'm currently working in group risk, and maybe that's the plan long term. Maybe it's not. We'll find out along the way. But just to be able to speak to someone with 25, 30 years experience in the industry, really has been running them through where I am, where I potentially want to go, what they think, has been a really great opportunity and experience.
And what would you say are then the must-dos and the things you shouldn't do when you get involved with a mentor, from your experience that you've had?
Yeah, I think the first must-do is just to give it a crack. Really, that was probably, with most things, that was the hardest step. You think you're going to waste this person's time or something like that, but I've certainly found as we've gone out, the conversations have been more and more fruitful. Probably leading off from that is to spend some time planning, not planning the entire conversation down to the minute and you want to talk about A, B, and C, but having a general plan of, okay, this happened last week, this is something I want to break down a bit further, or this is a decision I'm thinking about, and having that. I've found we almost have gone on a bit of a bell curve where perhaps, and somewhat deliberately, I started maybe a bit less organised so we could just have those genuine conversations, almost getting to know someone, then moving into some quite structured conversations around career planning, and maybe even a few specific examples. And now, as we're best part of a year now, as that relationship has built and developed, almost going back to that organic, natural conversation. My mentor and I, we tend to meet monthly, and so there's enough happening in a month that you can cover it off. But I always try to make sure I even just spend 5-10 minutes now before any time I catch up with my mentor, just recapping the month and any specific examples I want to go through with him before that conversation. And I find that's the way we have a most fruitful conversation that's beneficial for myself and for my mentor as well, because cognizant that I'm taking up his time, which is very valuable.
And I mean, because I'm in touch with you because I think the formal aspect of the formal part of the mentoring partnership that you've been involved in has come to an end. But I get the impression it probably hasn't. You probably will stay in touch, as you've alluded to with your previous mentor.
Yeah, no, 100% correct. And that's one of the great things. So through Finsia, I was able to make that relationship and establish that through the formal mentoring program, which only Finsia offers. But as a result of that, we've kept it going on I guess a more informal basis, which really is down to the connection that Finsia was able to put in place between the two of us.
I changed the questions around that I was going to ask, but I thought I'd go to that one. And then coming back, has it translated into work? I mean, I won't be as out there as saying, have you been promoted yet? But has it been useful in day-to-day work?
Yeah, unfortunately, no promotions out of it so far, but no, definitely been useful. And as I sort of said, I've been able to run not specific things, but this is sort of something I'm working on. I'm probably struggling with this aspect or communicating with this stakeholder. Do you have any suggestions or advice? And I can go to someone who doesn't have any biases of, I know Lewis, I can't stand talking to Lewis or something like that. Not that anyone I talk to does have those impressions, but you know how it can be sometimes. And even I can think of a few times he would just give me advice I hadn't even thought of. And it's almost like that light bulb going off and you go, oh, yep. Or he'd maybe give you just a little carrot here that you might be able to take a bit of and implement in your day-to-day work. And it's really been positive for my work. That's for sure.
One thing I'll also ask then about mentors. We've seen that the industry is crying out for mentors. Were you able to connect pretty easily with yours through Finsia?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I really just had to complete a bit of information about myself, and it provides a short list based on your skills through the Finsia database, I guess. But the Finsia team did a lot of legwork for me and put us in with that initial connection to the point where I just had to really pick up the phone and book up a time to speak with my mentor, Rod, which was absolutely fantastic and takes a lot of the hassle out of it.
I'm going to be speaking to him, and I think that most people on both sides get something out of it from the conversations I've had. I mean, I think what I'm going to finish on then is, are you ready to become a mentor yourself yet, or is that a little way off?
I guess it depends. I hadn't really thought that far ahead. I probably am in the early stages of my career, but then I do wonder, looking back, I've been out of uni about 5 years now, coming up to that. Perhaps I probably am ready to start mentoring someone maybe fresh off the boat, for lack of a better term.
I won't push you ahead of you've probably got your own things to deal with. So, look, Jacob, I think this is it's been brilliant to get this feedback about it, and hopefully to share it with other people. So look, we'll look forward to speaking to Rod and getting that out there in coming weeks and months. Look, Thank you very much, and keep us posted about whether you do take on the mentoring role.
Sounds good. No, will do. Thank you very much, Lewis.